we are gonna jump right in, and I have a fried egg in the pan. It's got some red bell peppers as well as some green onions. Some of you might call them scallions or spring onions, just seasoned with a bit of vegeta, some black pepper and some cayenne pepper as well, with some fried plantains and some avocado toast, which to be fair changes, but in this scenario I had lemon, black pepper and red chili flakes, which is like my go-to. It's very fresh and like zesty, and it kind of balances the rest of the flavors on the plate. Otherwise, let me go ahead and introduce myself. So good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever in the world you are. My name is Meech. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, as always, grateful to have you here. But if you are new, don't forget to click that subscribe button, and of course give this video a thumbs up because it really helps the algorithm, and I always appreciate it if you guys help your girl out. But here I'm just making some sweet potatoes as part of my nice sweet potato, kale and chickpea salad. I'm seasoning the sweet potatoes with olive oil, garlic, paprika, cayenne pepper, Cajun seasoning, as well as some vegeta. For the chickpeas, a little bit of olive oil again, some garlic, paprika, black pepper, vegeta. I will be leaving everything in the description bar below in terms of seasonings, and I'm gonna get better, guys, at actually measuring how much I use, but I kind of just eyeball everything and hope to have some left. Shout out to A Between E. I will plug her link in the description, but she kind of taught me on how to take kale off the stem, especially if you want to massage it for a salad, because nobody wants that bit of the kale that you can't really eat. But of course I'm just going to massage it with some lemon. To create this bowl, or this salad should I say, I just like to add, I love onions. I don't really cook with white onions, so you'll never see me using white onions, but red onions, green onions, some yellow bell peppers. It's a big bowl. It's a big salad bowl. Anyway, going back to the kale, squeezing some lemon, removing the pips of course, and getting right in there and massaging the kale. This is probably one of the best things I've ever learned on YouTube, especially just massaging kale. I feel like I never have to season my salads or add anything else. The lemon is usually good enough. But here I am adding everything that's all roasted and ready. I like to put it in a container so I can shake it up, and then everything kind of mixes together. And I think I just added some balsamic vinegar and some olives. For dinner, I had leftovers. I prepared some quinoa according to the instructions and added that with the leftovers from lunch, and I had myself a nice quinoa bowl. I boiled the quinoa in veggie stock, but you can use water. For my dressing, I used tahini, garlic, lemon, of course some water and some black pepper and some pink salt until it was the consistency I liked, which is I like it on the watery side. Some people like it creamy, but it was delicious, absolutely delicious. And we're back to breakfast. An omelette with some black pepper, some vegeta again, and some cayenne pepper. I don't tend to use salt because I find vegeta quite salty. In my omelette, just some red pepper, some spinach. I'm still mastering how to make an omelette, but I have learned since filming this video. I now put the lid on top and just let it cook all the way through, because this was definitely like 80% a fail, but we move. the potatoes that were left over from lunch/dinner yesterday. I added that on the side for my breakfast, and some fresh raspberries and blueberries, washed of course, and we have a nice big breakfast. Speaking of big breakfasts, I wasn't really feeling super hungry for lunch, so I just had a smoothie with some coconut milk, some strawberries. I like to buy them organic, fresh, and I freeze them myself. Same with mangoes. I buy a mango and I freeze them myself. Added some hemp protein and just blended that up. And I'm pretty sure I topped it with some coconut flakes just for some extra pizzazz. You'll notice that I eat plantains a lot. It's definitely plantains, not plantain. Definitely skip past the chopping process because I know there is a Caribbean out there somewhere that is criticizing my cucumber plantains. But this is like one of my favorite meals I had this week. I created this with one of my good friends, and ever since it's just been a go-to. So I like to start with frying the plantains because I feel like that's like the longest and probably the most tedious part. Then using the same oil in the pan, I just add some onions, some garlic, and I used some veggie ground, which some might refer to as like veggie mince. I seasoned that with paprika, cayenne pepper, Cajun seasoning, fajita seasoning, some tomato paste. Definitely recommend adding pineapple juice or some like taco seasoning if you don't have fajita seasoning. Either works. I like to top it off with some black beans and some corn just for those extra nutrients. And of course, it's low dairy, so we're using a dairy-free sour cream. For the crema, I will leave the recipe in the description below, but I definitely freestyled it. However, these tasted amazing. Amazing. For breakfast, I have my homemade granola. I will leave the recipe below, with some coconut yogurt and some fruit. Did you hear that? Do you hear how crunchy it sounds? My homemade granola actually sounds crunchy, so you already know it's crunchy. Moving on to lunch, I just roasted some broccoli and some courgette/zucchini, depending on where in the world you are from, and added some kale when they were half cooked. Literally just seasoned that with some olive oil, black pepper, and vegeta. And in the interest of not wasting anything, this bowl was like a combination of all my leftovers over the last few days. I had some sweet potatoes left, veggie ground, the mince, whatever. I had it from the day before. I had some quinoa, and of course those veggies that I roasted. And then I tried it with the avocado crema. Not sure I would do that again. I'd probably use the tahini. It just had a weird flavor to go with everything that was on there, but it was still really good. For for dinner, this is another favorite. Boiled my fettuccine pasta, because that's my pasta of choice, and I'm making this romesco style sauce. Again, I will leave a recipe in the description below, but I freestyle it and it usually works pretty well. You can add roasted red peppers, like actually roast your own bell peppers. I think that's nicer, but I had some in a jar, so I said I'd use them. For the shrimp, I seasoned it with garlic, paprika, Cajun, chili flakes, some vegeta and some black pepper, and they were so good. So good. This meal was actually A1. To the sauce, I add my boiled fettuccine. I just added a little bit of the pasta water, so definitely reserve some, just to loosen it up a little bit because it does thicken up. And then I just added everything into the pan, cooked it all together, and it was so good. I quickly made some homemade garlic bread with just some vegan butter, some parsley and some fresh garlic. Yeah, this was A1. It looks crazy, but it tastes so good. Wasn't feeling too hungry the next day, so I had same smoothie. For lunch, I had the leftovers with the pasta, and then I just had some dinner rolls. I didn't make it fancy with garlic bread. But moving on to dinner was fun. Dinner was good. I hadn't tried this before, so this was an experimental recipe, but I really like how it came out. Please don't criticize my chopping skills. I cut myself every time I cook. I need to tuck in my fingers, but I never do. So tuck in your fingers, please. For my guacamole, my favorite is to use about an avocado and a half. I use about half a tomato, some red onions, lime, paprika, some black pepper and some pink salt as well. I know some people like to add cilantro in there. I don't, and I hate the inside of tomatoes, so I definitely always get rid of them and basically only use the skin. I also want to stress while we're here, if you haven't given this video a thumbs up, please do. Like I said, it helps the algorithm and I really appreciate it if you help your girl out. I know this video is what I eat in a week, but definitely read it as what I indulge in for the week, because this was a week where I was just definitely hungry. Anyway, with my king oyster mushrooms, I like to season them with some chipotle seasoning, fajita seasoning, garlic, vegeta, some cayenne pepper, and I was pressing them to get as much water out of them. It makes it more meaty. I kind of wanted it to mimic like chicken a little bit. I then added some more lime, just for some extra flavor, you know? No shame in adding some lime. But guys, this tasted amazing. I just loaded that up with some salsa, guac, and a dollop of sour cream, and I rolled that up and it was so good. I made one, I finished it, definitely came back and made a second one. It was that good. Ooh, my favorite breakfast. This is like my favorite breakfast to do if I have company, if I have friends over for breakfast or brunch. It's such a great kind of like sharing buffet style breakfast. So with these like mini frozen hash browns, I just use some pink salt and some black pepper on them, and I like to try and cook everything in one pan just for ease, but you can definitely use 2 pans if you'd like, or cook them one after the other. But the hash browns take quite a while to get to the crisp that I like. Just add an egg, season the same way I've seasoned it throughout the week. So black pepper, cayenne pepper, and some vegeta. And I'm just gonna make a scramble out of it. So you have the scramble, some cheese, some hash browns, and some black beans, which I just took out the can and heated them up in the microwave. And this is how I layer it. Guys, this is so good. If you don't try anything from this video, try this. At least. So good. Moving on to lunch. I don't think I've shown you properly how to cook plantains. I mean, I showed you guys towards the beginning of the video, but plantain is life, so there's no shame in watching it again. If you're not a fan of tofu, I do have a tofu video which I will link up at the top. Definitely recommend giving it a watch, especially if you're not a fan of tofu. Moving on, for my tofu salad bowl, I season the tofu with some Cajun, cayenne pepper, vegeta, some garlic, paprika, and black pepper. And then I like to add soy sauce while it's in the pan. Trust me. Massaging kale, so I won't show you again because I showed you guys before. And I was going for like just a big tasty salad. Kind of added a lot of the veggies that were on their way out, or I had like half of it cut. I just wanted it to be a big salad bowl, so definitely experiment, add whatever you like. This was what I went for. Topping it off with the plantains and the tofu, and I added some olives. When I tell you, this salad bowl was absolutely delicious. Like delicious. 100%, 10 out of 10, recommend. For dinner, we're back to sweet potatoes. Once you've peeled your sweet potato, you just chop it up into some chunks, boil it up. I'm making a mash with that, so just while they're boiling, had some honey, heated it up, added some mustard, and then I seasoned it with some Cajun, garlic, paprika, black pepper, and vegeta, and I dunked my salmon in there. Because the salmon had been defrosted, you know how you get that white stuff on the salmon? I learned that if you kind of sear it in the pan first, that doesn't happen before you put it in the oven. So that was why I seared it and then put it in the oven just for a little bit. Oh, and definitely adding lemon is such a game changer. Definitely try it. But I hope this video has been helpful, especially if you're looking to transition to vegan or transition to vegetarian, or you're just trying to cut down on how much meat and dairy you consume. If it has been helpful, if you do try any of these recipes, guys, tag me in the comments. I love to see your creations. Otherwise, stay fierce, stay real, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.